Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Back again with another freestyle. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but that's the point of it being a freestyle, right? It's not, it's just natural. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about situations, well, not necessarily situations, but just the importance of being able to say no, right, in various situations. So a little backstory to this and what inspired this video is that so this weekend I went to hang out with my sister and we got pizza, we watched the movie. But anyway, I was offered something that I've given up, right? And it's funny how the devil tempts you and he knows, like, when you're trying to, I forget what the quote was, but it's something along the lines of, if the devil isn't tempting you, then you're doing something wrong, then he's not worried about you, right? So um, and it's funny how I used to spend so much money on this substance. I used to be going broke, taking out cash advances and things like that to get this, and now it's just being offered to me. It's just, at the randomest times. But anyway, so this guy came up. He was like, "Hey, you want to go do this?" And I was like, I paused, and I knew like I didn't want to. It's not that I didn't want to, but it's just like I said, like I gave it up. Like, I'm done with that. At least I hope I am. I can't ever say, because anything can happen at any time. But I paused and I was like, I'm good. I'm taking a break. And I said it hesitantly. I was like scared. It was weird. He was like, okay. He walked away. He went and did his thing. So, and it was just, I know a lot of people struggle with saying no. And there's, like I said, there's this sense of fear in, like, that this person is going to be disappointed with you, or that they're going to be angry with you if you say no, and if you don't, like, indulge in this thing with them. um and at times that can happen, but well, first, if that does happen, then that person is probably not your friend. They don't have your best interest at heart if they get offended or mad because you don't want to do something with them. But in most situations and in most cases, that is not that's not how it's gonna go. Like, people really don't care. Like, people are really concerned with themselves. Like, it's not that deep. And I am a person who struggles with, like, because I'm a kind person. I don't want to say I'm a people pleaser, because I don't think I am, but, like, I definitely do. I guess I have a level of empathy and emotional awareness and intelligence where I feel like I feel like I can kind of, like, predict, I guess, how people would react. But oftentimes I'm wrong, so I guess I'm not that emotionally intelligent or smart. But yeah, man. And I was very proud of myself for doing that. So, like, after, like, like 1 or 2 minutes after it happened, I still was, like, feeling those negative emotions, like, oh, this person, like, is gonna look at me different, or they're not gonna like me. But it was literally like it never happened. Like, it was like it was nothing. I said no, and they were like, okay, like, it's not it's not that serious, man. So if any of you out there, like I said, are like me, who you struggle with saying no sometimes, or you know people pleasing, um don't be afraid to say no, because oftentimes, like, people really don't care that much. I feel like a lot of people overestimate their importance in the lives of others. Hopefully that makes sense, and not to, like, make you feel bad, but, like, people, like I said, they're concerned with themselves. They're not really, and if they are that concerned with you and about what you're doing, and if you're willing to indulge in certain negative things with them, then they aren't your friend, and you shouldn't be around them anyway. But yeah, man. So, but like I said, I'm very happy that I was able to say no, and I was able to pass that test, and to overcome that trial. Because before, I would have just instantly said yes. I would have been like a fiend. But I'm becoming stronger and stronger, and I feel like every time I've said no multiple times before this, but this situation, it was just like, I don't know what it was about it, but it was just like, it was very hard for me to say no. You know, I was in a place where I was comfortable. I was around people who I knew, people who, like, I knew were cool. So, like, it would have just been so easy. It would have just been easy, and I could have went and had fun. And I feel like another thing that stopped me, so um like I said, I was with my sister, and and so my sister, she's in high school, right? She's 16, she's about to be 17, so she got a little boyfriend now, right? So that was like my first time meeting her boyfriend, and us like hanging out, and I was talking to him, I was like not sizing him up per se, but just you know how big brothers be with their sister's boyfriends. I was asking him questions and things like that, and I told him that I had stopped doing this thing, you know, and I felt like if I would have accepted that offer, it would have reflected bad on me, because even though he probably wouldn't have said anything, he would have been like, "Oh, like I thought you say you don't do that anymore, and then like now you're doing it." So it's like you're kind of a hypocrite, or you're just kind of double-minded and you're not stable. And I didn't want to make that impression on him, like I didn't want to. Uh, I'm pretty sure my sister heard that too when we were having that conversation. So I just didn't want to set a bad example. I didn't want to, go back on my word. And that's where a lot of shame comes from, right? So a lot of people who are depressed or who are going through like some form of mental turmoil, a lot of times it stems from either guilt or shame. Obviously it's childhood trauma, things like that, but a lot of it is so shame is based on something internal, right? So as opposed to guilt where it's something external, right? So guilt is like I did this to this person and I feel bad because I know it was wrong. And shame is like I told myself I wasn't going to do something and then I did it anyway. I went back on my word, so I feel like bad about myself. So I feel like I would have felt a certain level of shame. And when I was still struggling with it and I was like breaking free, I would like take breaks and then I would do it again and I would always feel bad afterwards. I'd be like, why did I do that? Like this isn't like, and I wouldn't even feel like how I wanted to feel. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to make the video too long. I just wanted to tell you guys about that and to just, say no. Like people aren't gonna be that concerned. You're gonna feel a lot better. Um, and at the end of the day, you have to, think about yourself, and what you need and what's good for you. Um, and if you're still like struggling with something and if it's still hard for you to say no to things, that's even more of a reason to say no because it's a slippery slope. I just watched Dope. When I was with my sister, that's the movie we watched. We had like a little movie night. Y'all need to go watch Dope, man. What a great movie. I might do like a movie review on it or something one day. But yeah, man, just say no. It's not that deep, and I promise you will feel a lot better. And it just doesn't have to apply to situations like, the situation I'm talking about. Just in anything where you're uncomfortable or you're trying to stop doing something, say no. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Eventually, you'll get to a point where it's not even like a thought anymore. It's just like, no, like I'm cool. I don't do that. It's kind of like if somebody like offered you crack or something, right? I mean, I don't know what y'all do. Some of y'all might do crack, but like if somebody came up and offered me crack, I'd be like, no, like I'm cool. It would just be like an instinct, it wouldn't have to be like an internal struggle or a battle. I feel like eventually, as you continue to say no, and as you continue to get further and further away from, whatever it is that you're struggling with, it'll solidify in you, and it'll become a habit or an instinct to just be like no, and it won't affect you. It won't like yeah. Hopefully that made sense. Y'all learn to say no, man. Especially men out here. Like you got to be a leader. You got to be strong, and you have to be an example. So learn to say no. Learn to set boundaries, and keep your word. Keep going. I know it could be hard sometimes, but keep going, boss. You got it. I think that's about it. By chance.